Welcome to Home Care Matters, the show where we discuss all things home care, with discussions on important age-related matters and topics. Brought to you by Enriched Life Home Care Services, the #1 rated home care provider in Michigan by Top Rated Local.
Hello and welcome back to All Home Care Matters. If this is your first time visiting us here at the show, thank you for taking time out to be with us today. We appreciate how valuable everyone's time is, and that is why we try and make each episode here at All Home Care Matters something that will hopefully matter to you. Today we wanted to take some time and talk about adult daycare programs. If you aren't familiar with what an adult daycare program is, that's okay. It's not always one of the first options that families are either told about or consider when looking for either respite care for themselves or as an option when their loved one may no longer be able to be by themselves. They are also not that common depending on where you live. We are in Metro Detroit, and I personally know of 3 or 4 adult day centers that are in the Metro Detroit area. These centers are a great resource for families and also their loved ones. However, as we mentioned, there isn't an overabundance of them available like nursing homes or home care providers or assisted living facilities. This is because certain types of adult daycare programs only are able to offer certain services. And the services that each of the adult daycare locations offer can vary widely, and their criteria for who would be a good fit and qualified to use their services can vary as well. Typically, adult daycare programs are used to help relieve the caregiver of their caregiving duties for the day, or in some cases, it could also be used while the everyday caregiver goes on vacation, or there could be any number of reasons that one would use an adult daycare center. It could also be used as a social outing once a week for your loved one to help increase their socializing. It really depends on the family and what their goal and needs are. They are also good for a family who may not have a need for an everyday caregiver, but they are in a working household and cannot leave their loved one alone while they are at work. Adult day programs typically function within normal business hours, Monday through Friday. But there are always exceptions, and some can offer weekend hours and even later evening hours as well. It would depend on the location to location and what the specific locations are offering. As of now, there are over 4,000 adult daycare programs in the United States, and in general, there are 3 main types. The first type primarily focuses on social interaction. The second type focuses on medical care. And then the last type is dedicated to memory care or Alzheimer's care. As with home care services, though, each state is responsible for the regulations, oversight, and guidelines for the operation and functioning of an adult daycare program in their respective states. However, the NASDA, NADSA, or the National Association of Adult Day Services, has guidelines in its standards and have recommended these guidelines for adult daycare centers. The staff at an adult daycare center can vary as well, depending on what type of an adult daycare program each location is focused towards. Typically, there will be a social worker, activity director, and an activity director's aide, who oftentimes is also a CNA. However, many adult daycare programs rely heavily on volunteers to help facilitate and run programs and activities. Many of the adult daycare programs will have an association or affiliation with other companies or organizations, such as home care providers, nursing homes, medical facilities, and other senior-related organizations and providers. The average attendee at an adult day program is a 76-year-old female who is either living with her spouse or adult children, and about 50% of these attendees have some sort of cognitive impairment, and more than half require assistance with a minimum of 2 of their ADLs, or activities of daily living. Adult daycare programs are a wonderful resource for not only families, but also their loved ones. But then one would ask, why aren't they commonplace like all the other long-term care and senior assistance options that we hear about daily? This typically is because families tend to refuse this option and worry that their loved one will resent being a part of such a program, and others feel guilty for dropping off and leaving their loved ones with someone else. When a family does finally decide to try the program, even if it's for one day, More times than not, their loved one develops friends with other participants, and their family or the person that has been responsible for their care is able to enjoy the respite that the adult daycare has provided to them. There are many benefits to a loved one who attends an adult day program. We're going to talk about a few. It allows the senior or the person participating to stay within their community. It also gives them a break from their caregiver and provides them with socialization with others of their same age. It provides structure for their daily activities as well, and the adult daycare program can provide quite a few services and activities for them. And again, each facility may or may not offer these, but it is at the discretion of each location. Some of the activities and services that they provide are assistance with eating or taking their medications and bathroom assistance, helping them get exercise and walking, monitor their health, their food and fluid intake or blood pressure, help them with foot care or their podiatry care, preparation of their meals and snacks and social activities, physical, occupational, and speech therapies. Some even offer transportation services. Adult daycare programs have a multitude of social activities as well, and the nice thing about it is that one of the main focuses of the program and the attendees are getting to socialize and participate in these activities with their own peers. Some of the social activities that they can provide are crafts, cooking, exercise, field trips, games, gardening, holiday parties, musical events, and therapy, pet therapy, and relaxation techniques, and more. The average cost of attending an adult daycare program is one of the more affordable options for families, but the cost can vary greatly from state to state, and again, depending on the type of adult daycare program that it is. For instance, in 2008, the average cost of an adult daycare program was $64 a day. But many of the centers have grants that can help in assisting with the cost, or they can even offer scholarships, or some may even be government funded. The centers that offer extensive care or more specialized services are going to tend to cost more. However, this option for many families is typically still far less than hiring a home care company or moving a loved one into an assisted living facility or a group home. Just remember that adult day programs have certain criteria, though, that your loved one must meet in order to qualify, and this is based on their personal care needs and abilities. We have been partnering with local adult daycare programs for many years, and we always look forward to seeing all of our friends at the facility. This is a relationship that is based on volunteerism, and our company helps by providing them with prizes or gifts and musical concerts and holiday parties. And the center's grateful because, like many adult daycare programs, they rely heavily on volunteers. Every one of the attendees lights up every time that we see them, and they always enjoy themselves, and the facility is truly remarkable with how creative they are with coming up with fun and new activities for all of their attendees. These facilities and programs sometimes are overlooked, and in some cases even unknown to families. We encourage you and everyone who is looking into options, either for some respite or support for their loved one, to call or visit a local adult daycare program in their area and see what they may be able to offer you and your loved one. Part of this episode and information that we obtained was from the Caregiver's Library. And the Caregiver's Library is exactly what the name implies. It's a library of resources, information, and tips for the caregiver and for families. If you haven't ever visited the site, you should check it out when you have an opportunity. We want to thank you for joining us here at All Home Care Matters. All Home Care Matters is here for you and to help families as they navigate long-term care issues. We invite you to visit us at allhomecarematters.com, where there's a private, secure, fillable form there where you can give us feedback or show ideas or if you have questions. Every form is read and responded to. And again, if you know anyone who could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. We hope you'll join us next time on All Home Care Matters, where we're going to talk about long-distance caregiving. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to you joining us again on another episode of Home Care Matters. To learn more about the show and to connect with us, visit us at allhomecarematters.com.